Hello, hi, and welcome to this C2G webinar. And today we're going to be learning about the governance of stratospheric aerosol injection, solar radiation modification, which is a bit of a mouthful actually. So we'll be using acronyms, probably stratospheric aerosol injection, SAI, and solar radiation modification, SRM. And during the webinar, we're going to be learning about what stratospheric aerosol injection is, the role it might be able to play in managing climate risk. We'll explore what we know about potential risks and benefits and the uncertainties associated with the approach. And we'll be thinking about the governance considerations around stratospheric aerosol injection and how they might be explored, how they might be even discussed and addressed downstream in due course. So my name's Paul Rouse. I'm from the Carnegie Climate Governance Initiative. C2G is the acronym we'll be using for that. Lots of acronyms, but I'm sure we'll be fine. C2G is an independent, time-limited initiative, and we're funded by foundations and part of the Carnegie Council for International Affairs. We have quite a straightforward and simple mission, which is to seek to catalyze the creation of effective governance of climate altering techniques, by which we mean carbon dioxide removal and SRM in particular. Now, while it's simple and straightforward to say that, to deliver that is of course going to be somewhat more complex and challenging. But we seek to raise awareness and energize the debate around these techniques. Now, we have no view on these ourselves as to whether they should or shouldn't be developed or indeed deployed in the future, but we simply believe governance debate about them is critically important, and that it needs to begin now, and it needs to be a well thought through process to take us forward. Now, this is one of a series of webinars and indeed informal conversations that we're calling campfire chats. And you can see a range of those that we've already undertaken on our website. The address for that is www.c2g2.net. And on there, along with the recordings of the webinars, you'll find a whole host of supporting information, evidence-based policy briefs, blogs, and so on. In addition to the recordings in English, we're now beginning to provide those also in other languages. So if you prefer, you can catch up with previous events or indeed this webinar shortly in other languages. And at the moment we have Chinese, French and Spanish translations. So today we're joined by three expert speakers. They might like now to turn on their videos, just to say hi and wave. We have people from around the world again. So Arunabha Ghosh is joining us from India. Welcome, hi. Arunabha is the founder and chief executive of the Council on Energy, Environment and Water in India, which is one of the world's leading policy research institutions. Prior to that, he was at Princeton, Oxford, and the WTO. And he was nominated as the UN to the UN's Committee for Development Policy by the Secretary General. And then on my screen at the bottom, Ina Möller is joining us from the Netherlands. Ina's a political scientist working in environmental policy in the environmental policy group of Wageningen University, which is probably terribly poorly pronounced by an English person, in the Netherlands, as I say. And previously, she's been working at the UN Environment Programme, has an expertise in climate change policy, global environmental governance, and the interface between science and policy. And then our third participant presenter today is Doug MacMartin. And Doug is a senior fellow in mechanical aerospace engineering at Cornell University in the US. And his research focuses on solar engineering, to develop insights into how it might work and what the effects may or may not be, to help inform society to have a conversation about how we might move forward or not with that, with the techniques. So we're going to hear more from each of the participants directly shortly, but beforehand we have three presentations to give us substantive information that we can draw from in our learnings. So Doug's session is first, and he'll be introducing and situating stratospheric aerosol injection in the wider context, the wider SRM and broader context. And Aruba will then be exploring potential benefits, risks, and unknowns associated with the approach. And then Ina's presentation elaborates on the governance provisions that are around this technique and what the challenges associated with moving that forward might be. So we'll sit and watch those. And afterwards, then we'll have a Q&A session. And the Q&A session is something that you're welcome to put your questions into at any time as soon as you have a question you'd like to pose. So to do that, you can use the Q&A button in the Zoom interface, which you'll see at the bottom of your screen. I'm sure everybody in COVID world knows how to use Zoom now. We'll try and address as many of the questions as we can when we see them. Um, I should mention, whilst these are all recorded and are posted on YouTube and Facebook and our own website, and they're actually being viewed quite frequently around the world, if you pose questions, you will remain anonymous. So the Q&A and the chat, which you're welcome to use as well, doesn't appear in the recording. So any question you wish to pose, feel free and don't worry that anybody will ever see that it was you. And you can post questions within this forum as well as an anonymous person if you'd like to. So with that, I think we can move to the presentation. So these take about 45 minutes, after which we'll come back together for the Q&A session. So sit back, enjoy the presentations, and I look forward to talking to you again shortly. Thank you. Bye.